Hello and welcome to the channel. It's Take 10 with Jen. We're not going to be 10 minutes, although we may be. We're going to just discuss today the importance of selling depending on your personality. So today we're going to talk about the D-type personalities. If it's your first time to this channel, I'm Jennifer Maxwell. I'm a personality expert, and I'd like to help inspired, multi-passionate entrepreneurs or anyone in business, teams, whatever it is that you're up to, have a personally aligned business and life that's epic. Every personality is critical. And happy money. I'm all about that. So let's dig in. Today's topic is anyone can win at sales. It's true. Even if you don't like sales or if you don't have a lot of experience, I used to hate sales. And so I had to really figure out a way to navigate this as a business owner. So in my previous life, I was a wedding planner. And back in the day, it was very saturated and it was difficult to get those high end clients. And so, in my business and life, with my husband, who introduced the DISC personalities to me, we started using it in our relationship. And then I thought, well, what if I use these strategies inside my business? And as I started applying them, lo and behold, I started closing at 90%. It's true. And so what I learned to do was simply read the people I was talking to, get inside their world, see the perspective from what they're looking at and why things matter to them in a different way, and then simply offering what I have for them in a way that made sense. And then I started closing 90% of the time. So today I want to talk about the D personalities. So the Ds are our most dominant type right here. So Ds are outgoing and task focused. So that means that they are typically their task, meaning they get up every morning, they got things to do. If this is you, you're going to resonate. So you write a to-do list and you write to do at the top just so you have something to write to check off, right? And then you kind of go about your day, you're doing all your things, and people can sometimes be an inconvenience to your task. If you're like, don't knock on the door unless there's blood, you might be a D personality. So Ds are typically the most dominant, direct type people, a little demanding, decisive, determined, doer. So they are, think about like Gordon Ramsay, or not that you are necessarily explosive with your anger, but that things have to be done. They have to be done on time and efficiently. Kevin O'Leary, there's no crying in business. Muhammad Ali, you love a challenge. It's just how you're built. So today, if this is you, we're going to be talking about the S personalities. If you're trying to sell to an S, which is your opposite, there are different strategies that you're going to need to do because S's are very different. And so let's just talk a little bit about you and a little bit about the S personality. So think about Mr. Rogers, right? The nicest person. Who else do we have? Lady Diana, Muhammad Ali, Mother Teresa. So all sorts of very service focused, the nicest people you'll ever meet. And so a D strategy to get things done is not the same as an S. So S's are supportive. They are steady, stable, sensitive, status quo, a little bit shy. I always sort of like to think of like the tortoise and the hare. So this is like the tortoise. And they are slow, not like slow, but like very paced in what they do. They're very methodical. You can't rush a turtle. If that isn't the best tagline, I don't know out there that would better describe an S personality. The more you push them, the slower they get. If you have a child who's this way, you know what I'm talking about. Hurry, get your socks on. Like, come on, we go. No, that just makes them slow down. So the strategies for Ds is you want this, let's get it done. Let's press hard, make 3 copies, let's move on and get this process going, right? Let me pay you the money and let's move ahead. Not so much with an S. S's are different. They are, again, are slower paced. Here are some strategies to make sure that you can meet them where they're at. You need to slow down. If you're a D, slow it down. You need to talk a little softer. You need to get inside their world. These people are built for safety. If you're off to buy a car, these people want a van where everybody gets a captain's chair. Everybody's safe. They want a money back guarantee. They want to know that they can take time to think about it. These are not the people that you say as a D. You don't be like, okay, if you don't sign this by the end of this meeting, you're out. That's horrifying for an S. You will lose them every time. These people are sentimental, they're soft, they're supportive. They're thinking about serving people. For example, in the wedding industry, if I and typically they often come in opposites, right? So I's and C's, D's and S's. So if I had a driver type bride or groom, doesn't matter. Usually, no, I'll give you one example. So I had one driver type groom, and his bride was like an IS personality. We got to the biggest meeting. It was like a 3 hour meeting. Nobody likes this meeting. It's long, it's horrible. Bring coffee, but it's okay. We make it fun, but it is a line by line. We got to know who's picking up grandma, who's dropping her off, like all the things, right? And I did this one meeting, and it was sort of like in like a mall type area. It was a secluded kind of atrium where we could sit down and have drinks and coffee, and it was just kind of a nice, bright atmosphere. And the groom got up and walked away, and he said, "I'm going to get a haircut." I was like, old me would have freaked out. And for a second, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I." I don't think he likes me. And then I started going like, oh, I don't think he respects me. I don't think he likes me. And I was like, no, wait a second. He totally respects me and he trusts me 100%. Nobody in their right mind would walk away at the most important meeting unless they trusted you. Sure enough, he walks back in and he's like, okay, so what are the final details and how much is it going to cost me? I was like, okay, if I didn't know that, I would have read it wrong and I would have felt really bad about myself. So this is why it's critical to know um, what's going on and get the vantage point from who you're selling to. So as kind of like an SI personality, that's me, I'm an ISC, selling to a D became really challenging. And if you're down here and you have to sell to a D, just as a total side note, because we're going to do one just on the S's. If you're an S personality, you got to put your big girl panties on and face a D and tell them straight up because they respect clarity and directness. And so while the D's respect clarity and directness, S's do not. They are afraid of that. So you have to soften your tone and use please and thank you and really try to understand what it's like in their world. If they're hesitant and they're not saying yes to things, you want to figure out why. So here are your most important takeaways today. If you're a D, you want to sell to an S, you find out, first of all, they're going to be quiet. You need to ask them questions. How does this feel for you? Do you have any questions that I can answer for you? Is there anything that you're thinking about? These people are how people. How's this going to happen? These people are what people. So D's are like, well, here's what's going to happen. And D's are like, how's it going to happen? So let's use life insurance, for example. If you're a D type personality, you're selling to an S. First of all, they don't want to talk about life insurance. I mean, someone's going to die, and that makes them sad and upset. So you're going to notice that they get sad. They may even cry. And nobody's even dead yet, right? So they're sentimental and they're thinking about this moment when someone's going to pass away and what is this going to do for them? So you have to slow that down and understand that they're feeling sentimental about what this could actually mean. And then they're going to be thinking in real time, how is this going to work out? So let's say somebody dies, my spouse dies. What do I do? Who do I call? How do I get the payout? What does it go directly into my bank account? Do I have to wait for someone to come and write me a check? How much time after? Can I pay off my house with it? Like all these are like, and these people are just like, what? Just get money when someone dies, we'll figure those details out later. No, these people are like, okay, how's it going to work? Because they don't know. So no matter what you're selling, if you're here, these people are, how's it going to work? You have to slow your pace down. You have to get sentimental, soft, a little bit inside their world and answer any questions they may have in a supportive way. Don't get annoyed with them. If you do, they're going to get up and walk away and find somebody else. So it's your job, even though it's not natural for you. This is the part where you got to flex your muscle and really build some strength here. This is your weakest typically your opposite is your weakest area. If you can build muscle in your weakest area, you'll be so incredibly well-rounded and you will close more deals. That's your takeaway today. If you have any questions, let me know below. Pop them in the chat. I'll answer them because it's a lot to take in and a lot to consider. But think about whatever you do, do the opposite. And then you'll be able to help your people. That's all for today. Thanks for taking 10 with Jen. It's almost 10 minutes. I love that. If you have any more questions, Pop them below. I might even just pop some like a free guide that you can download. In fact, I'll do that. It's called Words That Convert. I'll pop it in the chat. You can grab a copy for yourself, and you get a whole chart on words that help and words that hurt your sales conversion. I look forward to seeing you the next time. In the meantime, be awesome, be epic, and I'll see you around the bend. Bye for now.